America drinks almost 400 million cups of coffee daily. This coffee includes one simple ingredient, caffeine. Caffeine is the most consumed chemical produced product in the U.S. It is important to know the facts and realities behind it. I am a consumer of caffeine for almost 2 years now, and I have researched it in the past. For myself, consuming caffeine daily and almost 150 million other Americans, I will ensure you that this is America's #1 drug. In this speech, I will talk about the history of caffeine, the addiction and science behind it, and the different ways it's consumed. Caffeine has been around for 200 years and is largely consumed daily. In the 1820s, one scientist figured out this so-called chemical. Caffeine was first extracted by a German scientist named Friedrich Ruge. He found its purest powder, its white form, this so-called chemical. He found it in its purest powder. Before this, caffeine had already been around for thousands of years. It just wasn't in its purest form. Caffeine originated from Europe. According to Germany, the origins reflect the spread of coffee into Europe. Also, the word originated from German word Kaffee, which is spelled with a K. Another thing to add, caffeine was founded in its purest form by a German scientist, so why would caffeine not originate from Europe? The caffeine chemical has been produced in Indonesia and Asia for the last 150 years. The different type of beans are produced purely based on the weather in which beans can handle that type of weather. Now that I've discussed the history behind caffeine, I will now follow up with the science behind it. The science behind caffeine is fairly new to the world we live in. Caffeine's chemical name is 1,3,7-dimethylamine. It is a molecule structure. Also, it is found in over 60 plants and is used daily in our meals throughout the world. Caffeine can be broken down in 3 different ways. The water extraction way is where the raw beans are just soaked in water, and then after a period of time, the caffeine can just be extracted because all the chemicals are washed out. The second way is the carbon dioxide way. This is where the carbon dioxide is forced through the green beans, and after a period of time, carbon dioxide soaks it out, and then it goes out. Then it is sprayed with high pressure water, and then the caffeine is extraction. The third way is the organic way, which is just uses the chemical ethyl acetate, which is probably the best way and the easiest way to extract caffeine. Caffeine addiction is very real based off the central nervous system. According to NBCL, it says caffeine can fit into receptors in the brain and clock out tiredness. What's happening, it upgrades your alertness, and with it blocking out tiredness, your brain is going to want to feel this alertness all the time, so it's going to be a fix, sort of like a drug. The side effects of caffeine are moderate but can become very needed. Most common side effects is trouble sleeping and nausea. The other more problematic side effects can include rapid heart rate, shaking, and mood swings. Now that I've talked about the science and addiction behind it, I will explain different ways caffeine is consumed. Caffeine can be consumed in many ways, but here are the top 3. The first source of caffeine is caffeine normals. These have lots of mixed chemicals and include drinks like soda, energy drinks, and pre-workout. One of the highest researched products, but it's also one of the worst for you. The second source of caffeine is tea extract. This tea is proven to increase your metabolism, and it also produces 4.8 to 9.3% of the natural intake of caffeine. The last source of caffeine is the coffee extract. This is the most natural source consumption of caffeine possible. If you are going to consume caffeine, this would be the best way to consume it. Based off my visual chart, the most consumed caffeine products is coffee, and then the lowest is sodas like Coke, Mountain Dew, things like that. Today I discussed the history of caffeine, the science behind it, and different ways it can be consumed. From the chemicals and how the brain responds makes it America's #1 drug. Remember the effects of caffeine and how it is addictive. Although most likely most of the effects are unharmful, its effects can control your life and be a needed consumption of it. Wow.